Working with word problems. Lesson objective: translate word expressions into mathematical expressions. Let's begin. A math expression is a mathematical sentence with a minimum of two numbers and/or variables and at least one math operation. Now the operation can be add, subtract, multiply, or divide, or squaring, or square root. And just like a English sentence that has to have a noun and a verb, a math expression has to have an operation, and for that operation at least two numbers or variables or a combination. A math expression is different from an equation. An equation will always have an equal sign, separating either two expressions or two numbers or a combination. An equation always has an equal sign. That is what separates an equation from an expression. So why are expressions important in statistics? Well, a mathematical expression can help translate a real-life problem into a suitable statistical process or statistical model. Many of the problems in statistics involve a word problem, which requires the reader to identify important terms that will dictate what type of statistical procedure that can be performed. These procedures all use a set of mathematical expressions or equations to help analyze and summarize data. So the key is we want to look at word problems and to be able to pick out important words that will tell us what to do next. In this video, we will practice translating word problems or phrases into mathematical expressions, and in future videos, equations and inequalities. Let's do an example. A hot dog stand sells hot dogs for $2.75 each. Find the total cost of buying the given number of hot dogs. First one is 3, then 5, and then for the variable n hot dogs. So let's first look at 3 hot dogs. Well, that would be 3 times $2.75, which gives us a grand total of $8.25. If we increase the number of hot dogs to 5, it is now 5 times $2.75, which is $13.75. Now notice 3 times $2.75 is an expression, and 5 times $2.75 is an expression. Two numbers, one operation, multiplication. For the variable n, hot dogs, the total cost, and our units are dollars, is n times $2.75. Or another way of writing that, and normally we put the number first and then the variable if we're multiplying, and that would be 2.75 times n. So that is the mathematical expression for the total cost for hot dogs at this hot dog stand. Let's do another example. A person drives at a constant speed of 75 miles per hour. Find the distance traveled in 1, 2, 3, and 4 hours of driving at that speed. Write an expression that stands for the distance traveled in t hours. So our variable is t, the number of hours. So we'll begin with the numbers. For 1 hour, if you drive 1 hour at 75 miles per hour, that's your speed, you will drive a total distance of 75 times 1, which is 75. Distance is how long you drive times your speed. So for this example, the speed is a constant 75. If you drive 2 hours, that would be 75 times 2, which is 150. 3 hours would be 75 times 3. For 4 hours, it would be 75 times 4, which is 300. And for the variable t, it would be 75 times t. Or we can just say 75t. That is the mathematical expression for this situation. Let's try another. Some students rent a house together. Each roommate pays an equal share of the $1,200 monthly rent. Let n be the number of roommates. Write an expression that expresses each roommate's share, measured in dollars, of the rent. Then evaluate your expression for n equals 5. What does that result mean in this situation? So the number of roommates, if there is one roommate, one person, that would be $1,200 divided by 1. There's nothing to split. The one roommate is paying for everything. Now if you have two roommates, you would not multiply, you would divide, you would cut it in half. They're splitting it up. 1,200 divided by 2 is 600. One person pays 600, the other person pays 600, and together that makes 1,200. If you have three roommates, that would be 1,200 divided by 3, which would be $400 each. So as the number of roommates increases, the share of the rent decreases. For 4, it would be 1,200 divided by 4. And for n, it would be 1,200 divided by n. That is our mathematical expression. If the number of roommates is 5, then the expression would be 1,200 divided by 5, which is $240. Now what does that mean in this situation? That means that each roommate would have to pay $240 for their share of the rent. And if you add $240 for the 5 people, that sum would equal $1,200. Here are some very common keywords for addition and subtraction. Of course, plus, a number plus 3 can be written as x plus 3. The sum, that is a key word. Sum means you add, and in this case we have a number or a variable and 3. Total also means addition. Add a number and 3, that's the same thing as saying x plus 3. 3 more than a number is x plus 3. A number increased by 3, again, is x plus 3. For subtraction, a number minus 3 is x minus 3. The difference, the word difference means subtraction. So you take this number, a known number, variable, x, and you subtract 3. Subtract 3 from a number. So you take the number, you subtract 3 from it, that's x minus 3. 3 less than a number? Now you might think this would be 3 minus x, but it's actually x minus 3. Yeah, this one is a little tricky. You won't see this too often in statistics. A number decrease. Decrease means subtraction. Let's look at the other two operations. Multiplication. Of course, if we see multiply, that means multiplication. Multiply 3 by a number, 3 times x or 3x. Product is a key word for multiplication. The product of 3 and a number is 3 times x. Twice a number means you multiply it by 2. Or double a number, you multiply it by 2. 1/3 of a number, well, you take 1/3 and you multiply it by x. So when you see the word of means you multiply. For division, of course, we have divide. Quotient is a key word for division. The quotient of a number in 3 means you take that number, in this case x, and you divide it by 3. Ratio means you're making a comparison of two numbers by division, the number and 3. Let's try these. The sum of x and 12, well, that translates to x plus 12. Sum means you add. 4 is greater than b. We can say b plus 4. 6 more than y, well, that would be y plus 6. Because this is addition, you could also say 6 plus y. It's the same thing for addition. 44 plus r, of course, is the addition of 44 and r. And 3 larger than z would be z plus 3. The difference of x and 12, difference means we subtract, so we'd say x minus 12. 4 less than b, that would be b minus 4. When you see this less than, the second number comes first. Again, we don't see this too much in statistics. Don't worry that much about it. 7 subtracted from y means you take y, you subtract 7 from that. 44 minus r means 44 minus r. And 3 smaller than z. that would be z minus 3. Just like 3 years smaller than your age, you would take your age and subtract 3. And we have z minus 3. So there's many ways of doing addition and subtraction. The keywords for addition would be sum. The keyword for subtraction would be difference. Keyword for multiplication is product. If you see of, that means you multiply also. And the keywords for division is quotient and also per. If you hear the word per, that means division. And we'll look at that in just a second. Here's some other important terms to keep in mind. Unit. Unit describes what the quantity is being measured or counted by. So for example, if the units are in inches, you are measuring in inches. Or it could be feet. That's a different unit. Meters, pounds, grams. So the unit, if the data is quantitative, it most likely have some type of unit. Unit analysis is the process of working with units to help solve problems. Just as I said, per means division. So if you hear 65 miles per hour, that means 65 miles divided by 1 hour. So per means division. Of, or if you see a hyphen, that means multiplication. For example, if you see kilowatts hyphen hours, that means kilowatts times hours. Kilowatts is a certain unit. Hours is a unit of time. Of course, if we see squared, that means you raise it to the second power, and cube means you raise it to the third power. 2 cubed, that would be 2 times 2 times 2, which would give you 8. 3 cubed would be 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. So very soon we will talk about what are common English words for equal sign. Of course, that would be equals. Also is the same thing as. We've already talked about multiplication. Twice means you multiply it by 2. Double, you multiply it by 2. Product, you multiply. Times of. Divide, per. Divided by. Quotient, ratio. Addition, plus. More than. Sum, combined. Subtraction, minus, fewer than. Difference, decrease by, subtracted from. And very soon we will talk about inequalities, greater than and less than. We'll address those in a different video. And when you see a number or how much or how many, chances are that's going to be a variable. Thanks for watching.